Marvel does it again, guys. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let's see how it is. So, Marvel, I mean, come on, man. Hats off, dude. They could have went another route, but they really kept it authentic. And I think it would have been a disservice to the issues they are actually tackling, or maybe had to like tippy toe around instead of doing what they did here. So I think that's what kept it really authentic. And I don't want to get political on here, but I mean, the show is in some ways political. Yes, it is political. I mean, these are systemic racism and the neglect of veterans, a bit of PTSD, and the way we treat veterans. Man, it starts out with Sam giving up the shield, man. That was his first mistake. And you see why he gives it up. It's a real great journey that we go on with Sam, and not just Sam, Bucky. So this falls in the same vein as Winter Soldier and Civil War, or the Russo brothers' Captain America trilogy, because they really cemented him as probably the best MCU trilogy, if I'm being honest, and if we're all being honest here. I mean, come on, guys. It's not a 2-hour movie anymore because it's a show, so it has time to explore the themes that are represented here. I know the trailers made it seem like it was going to be a action-packed buddy comedy, but I really like what they did here, man. They really made it personal, and I really enjoyed it, especially with Bucky. They really deal with his issue. I mean, they kind of, sort of looked at it in Civil War whenever him and Tony were fighting, and he says he remembers all of them, and they come back to it, and I really like how they touched on it. And with Sam, you actually see him in his daily life and what's behind, because he's always been a sideline character, and I loved him in Winter Soldier. Honestly, it was really great seeing him in Winter Soldier. I actually liked him more than I ever in the comics, but lately, since I've been reading the comics, I'm really liking Sam, especially without the bird powers. And I heard they were about to do it in the show. That would have been so weird. But Sam, you actually see him deal with things outside of the Avengers and how the Avengers work also. So he has real world problems, paying the bills, trying to get his family business afloat, and overall the way it ends, I'm really excited for where they're gonna go with Sam now that we no longer have Black Panther. Alright. But him giving up the shield gave an opportunity for us to see John Walker. Oh god, those memes. Hashtag not my cap was trending on Twitter. Funny enough, that was the same thing they said about Sam Wilson being Captain America in the comics. Come on. Why do you think they grabbed John Walker, aka U.S. Agent? It's just a juxtaposition to Sam Wilson and the morals of Steve Rogers, or just being Captain America, of what it means for someone to be Captain America. And I know people were mad about it, but that was the whole point of it. I'm not gonna lie, dude. And it was no surprise to me. I know the way John Walker is. He was also very compelling. Like, you kind of feel for him sometimes, but then he does some stupid shit. You're like, come on, man. They make you feel for him a bit until he does something dumb. And not even dumb, it's more like arrogant and self-indulgent and But he didn't turn out to be a big POS at the end of the day from the last episode, which I'm not saying he did not redeem himself. That's not what I'm saying. But okay, Zemo. Zemo was probably the best part. He stole the show. Literally. Man, dude, them Zemo memes, man. It's complete, comprehensive. Man, that or the Zemo dancing, that is just gold right there. Man, dude, this show actually, Disney Plus shows are just promoting themselves with coming out weekly with them, especially with their memes. God, I can't wait to get my context back. I really hope he stays in the MCU. And they pulled a little trick that they do in the comics. They bring back a character and they give him a little bit of a different light without us really knowing. I mean, it's really cool for people who read the comics. It's cool that they actually got him to become a baron and have money and be tied to all these things because he was just a soldier. The Civil War movie, but I really liked his arrogance. This dude does not like super soldiers, so I would love to see a Thunderbolts movie and John Walker be on the same team as Zemo. Just saying. I want a Thunderbolts movie. That would be compelling. But man, Baron Zemo, he's like Hannibal Lecter. He steals the show, but the stings that come out of his mouth. He's really there too to get under Bucky's skin, mainly. And he's such an asshole for fucking starting with that Winter Soldier when he gets to the cell, man. Man, dude, Baron Zemo, the dude that has money, the dude that has class. Of course he's gonna steal a show, and the dude that had the last laugh. Well, Sam and Bucky use him as a tool to benefit themselves to get to the Flag Smashers. He was a different viewpoint for Sam and Bucky to have some really good conversations. Because the way Zemo sees it, he's set in his ways to see it see the Avengers and everything they do in a certain way. Really interesting conversation that him and Sam have together in about episode, I want to say like 4. But Zemo stole the show, man. I want more Zemo. I think all of Twitter was saying the same thing. So going back to Civil War, Sharon really got screwed over, man. The most she got was a kiss from probably what? From her uncle, I guess. Yeah, uncle. Oh, well, ooh. I don't want to give anything away. So Sharon Carter wasn't there at the end battle of Endgame, so she didn't get pardoned. She took all the heat and never got her life back. I really like where they took her character. I don't want to reveal too much, but I have a feeling where they're going to go with her, and it's going to be tied to one of the later shows. But other than that, Sharon kicks ass, dude, man. She was ruthless too, so I like that she got a little dirt on her nails now. Sharon was a very great dynamic to the whole show. Bro, Isaiah Bradley. He had the best scenes. I think he had some of the best scenes in this show. And in a way, I don't want to give too much away, but something that happened in Captain America, the first Avenger, he did the same thing. But he didn't get rewarded the same way. So Isaiah Bradley really is for Sam and us as the audience to discover how dirty the history is, which also how they treated African Americans in World War II with experimental. So they brought it onto the comics, which I didn't even think they were going to bring it from the comics because I thought it would be way too political, but I said ballsy move for Marvel, but it really does pay off. Honestly, had some of the best scenes in the whole entire show with Sam and Isaiah Bradley. Yes, he's a bitter dude, but you understand why and what happened to him, and you really feel for the man. And it also shows us why it's so complicated for Sam to be carrying that shield and why it wasn't so easy for him just to pick it up. Isaiah Bradley is probably one of my favorite parts. And if y'all are any comic book fans out there, which I hope they are, if y'all are watching, thank you. The kid that was helping him out, I think it was his nephew. Yeah, that's going to be Patriot. Young Avengers, y'all. They are going there. Or Champions, but I'm pretty sure it's Young Avengers. Carly Morgenthau. And the Flag Smashers. This was my least favorite part of the show. Yeah, it was a little slow when it was with them. I feel like they could have wrote it a little better. But I think it was just to help with the ending overall and where they're going to go. It was just two opposite sides. I mean, they really had a good reason with the neglect of certain people, certain groups. And Sam really tried to get to her, even though she's young, but she crossed the line and she kept going and she didn't know when to stop after that. And she really was an interesting character, but she wasn't, the writing for her and the Flag Smashers weren't as strong as everybody else in this show. With the conversation that Sam and Carly have, really ended up helping out that final speech at the end, which I absolutely adore. Carly was going through a lot, plus she's young and she was grieving, so that is not a good combo to be making choices in position of power, and which she has. Because she's a super soldier along with her flag smashers. And honestly thought she was going to be Sin, Red Skull's daughter. I was really hoping for that, but we didn't get it. Hopefully they can save Sin for another movie. So it wasn't a buddy cop show, but I'm really glad with what we got. It's more political like it was in the comic books at the time. I know it wasn't it was kind of frowned upon at the time by a lot of people. From what I've read so far, it's pretty good. Nick Spencer, Rick Remender. I'll put the comics right here. If y'all want me to do a review on it, let me know. Yeah, I really like the journey that they took us on with Sam and his personal struggles, and actually knowing who Sam is behind him just helping Cap out most of the time without question. And why Steve chose him and saw in him of why he can pick up the shield. Bucky also, man, damn dude, that one scene in Wakanda, that's all I'm gonna say. There was a lot of cameos now I think about it. Bucky had a lot of emotional weight. I mean, how can you blame him? He didn't really have a chance to take in any moments when he was Winter Soldier. They just turn him on and turn him off. Turn him on and turn him off. He didn't really have any time to process all that. It's very touching and very satisfying seeing him find some peace of mind and some happiness because he's no longer the Winter Soldier anymore. He is Bucky. And now that we have Cap and Bucky, I want more of it. I want more of this. I heard they're doing a Captain America 4, which I'm very excited for. I love that they learned to not just be Cap's friends, but also to be partners and to learn to trust each other at the end of the day because they both grew from each other. Sam helping Bucky become the man that he should be and learning to accept himself. Bucky understanding why it was so hard for Sam to be Cap. And this is characterization is why we love these characters in the MCU. Without these characters being so strong and so well written, I don't think the MCU would be as strong as it is today. I think that's why we watch, we sit down, we enjoy these shows for these characters. They're relatable to us, they inspire us, they aspire us to become better. I do have to say this is an 8.5 out of 10. If the Flag Smashers was written a little more well, I probably would have given it a 9, but 8.5 guys. Let me know what y'all think. I really enjoyed this. This is up more on my alley. I have the Ed Brubaker ones, Ed Brubaker omnibuses. I will be reviewing the Ed Brubaker Volume 1. Hopefully it's still in print. Be on the lookout for that. And in a few days I will be putting up a Dead Planet review for the hardcover. Y'all take it easy. Deuces.